Welcome back to Sports for Real, and today is a national holiday as far as I'm concerned. It's Super Sunday, and it features one of my teams, the LA Rams. Most of you guys who know me understand the story, but I became a Ram follower after Super Bowl 14 when they thoroughly outplayed my Steelers and should have won the game. Now, if you go back and look at the score of that game, 31-19, it looks like Pittsburgh was toying with them the whole time. But no, the game didn't go anything like that. The Steelers stole that game late, and they still needed everything they got because Ferragamo, he had the receivers wide open, and he threw late down the middle for an interception. And had he thrown it to Billy Waddy would still be running, and that's been over 40 years ago. But that's here nor there. Today we're talking about the Bengals, and we're talking about the Rams, and it just happened to be playing in LA. I don't think that makes a difference. But if you listen to what all the experts say, the Bengals, they don't have a chance. For two primary reasons. One, they can't stop the pass rush of the Rams. And two, the secondary is going to be able to handle Jamar Chase and his band of receivers. Well, since I am a Rams fan, I'm going to try to give you an unbiased opinion about why I think the experts are wrong. First of all, I think it's going to come down to when the Bengals have the football. And I'm going to give you a simulated look. So what you have here is the Bengals offense. I think they can come out in something like this. This is a pro set in the shotgun. You have flanker there, and you have a slot on the other side. I'm not quite sure if they're going to line up this way, but I left the split end position on the other side so you can see what I'm illustrating over here. And what you have here is Jalen Ramsey locked up one-on-one with Jamar Chase. But I'll get back to that in a second. But the reason number one where people are saying that the Bengals don't have a chance, well, I'm going to give you one name. His name is Billy Joe. Billy Joe used to be the head coach of Florida A&M when I was there, and he went on, or before that, he was a professional coach, and he has become several times the coaching, what they call it, the coaching coach of the year or coaching ambassador of the year, some kind of title like that, where he's over the whole coaching association. But anyway, they played Jackson State, I believe it was either 95 or 97, and Jackson State had the front seven returning. They had like 7 of the 11 starters from a 7-4 football team, and the entire front seven was returning. Stout guys, a couple of them went on to play in pro football. And what he did that day, he showed me something. The first 25 or so plays, they were all pass plays. Well, why is that a good game plan? Well, if you take a monstrous front seven and they're going to come out of the locker room sky high, and if you get these guys when they're at their emotional state trying to get to that quarterback and you just pass, you're going to tire them out. So later on in the game, when you get to running, that same aggressiveness that they would have had at the beginning of the game when you tried to establish your full offense, they were going to be able to slow you down. So what he did, he passed them, tired them out, then came back and ran at them, and they couldn't stop it. You may see the same kind of thing today. I think the Bengals in that formation I just showed you, they're going to go spread offense, whether it's 4 or 5 wide. It's going to be the shotgun. It's going to be a catch. It's going to be a quick read and a release several times in a row at a heightened pace. This is the only way I think that the Bengals can keep that pass rush from being a major effect. If you remember, they got sacked like 5 times by Kansas City. The week before that, they got sacked another 9 times by the Titans. The Rams are supposed to be better overall than any of those two defenses. So I think if Burrow is able to get the ball out of his hand quick, which he's been real good at doing, I think he can have a tremendous effect against the Rams' pass rush. The second reason that people say the Bengals can't compete is because of the secondary. They all mentioned Jalen Ramsey. Well, let me say this. The defensive backs across the NFL, they all pretty much play the same way. You can't check a receiver coming across the middle anymore, so the receivers have no fear. And that takes a lot of the game away from the defensive backs. So the only thing they can do is start grabbing and holding. This is clearly pass interference, but if the ref don't call it, it's not interference. The ref can't call pass interference every time because who wants to see a game where you see a penalty on every play? There's literally pass interference every play. Just like there's literally offensive holding on every play. But they can't call that because it's going to slow the game down. The defensive backs know that, so they take their chance. Ramsey is very good at pushing and holding and grabbing and all that kind of stuff. He's a good physical player. But, like I say, all that stuff is really not legal. But here's the deal. They're going to lock him up on Jamar Chase. He has come out and said that he wants to cover Chase. Well, if he's supposed to be one of the best, of course you want to cover a young guy like Chase, who people can see being one of the best right now. So I think the problem that Ramsey's going to have, yes, he's going to be able to push him around a little bit, but it's going to be a couple times that Chase gets away from him. And the question is, will Burrow see him and have time to get rid of the ball when Chase shakes it? That's going to be the key to the game. The other key, let's just say he's having trouble covering Chase and you try to double him. Well, what are you going to do about the other side? Higbee is, not Higbee, but T. Higgins, he's playing good football, and so is Tyler Boyd. But the key is Uzomah out of the tight end position. You can't double everybody. If he's going to double Chase all night long, then Uzomah is going to kill you down the middle. Take, for instance, Kansas City when they played Buffalo. Chiefs tried to take away Stephon Diggs. They want to double him all night. He got a little bit of action, but that's not what killed him. This is pro football, right? So you should have some alternate receivers that can do some damage. But Buffalo had that. That guy Evans killed Kansas City down the middle. And anytime you go to overcompensating for one particular player, that opens it up for somebody else. So if the Rams are going to double Chase all night long, that's going to open it up for Higgins, Boyd, and Uzomah. And if Burrow is able to get that ball out of his hands, that's going to open things up. And just like Billy Joe did against Jackson State, if you start throwing, Mixon's going to pop through. He's going to be very effective. And if they can control the clock, the Rams have a problem. Now, as much as Sean, the coach of the Rams, get so much credit of being a genius, I hadn't seen that so much in big games. Bill Belichick slowed that so-called potent offense that he has down a couple years ago in the Super Bowl, and the Bengals, they're good enough to slow them down themselves. The key to the Bengals slowing down the Rams' offense is trying to find a way to stop Cooper Kupp. That's clearly his number one option. Stafford's number one option is to try to get it to Kupp. Kupp is dangerous. If Kupp gets off and then they're able to run the ball, then they're going to be able to effectively move the ball against the Bengals. I don't expect this to be a shootout. I think it's going to be somewhere split down the middle where you have the Bengals being able to get those quick passes and getting those timely conversions, and the Rams may come through with a timely sack or two. But I tell you this, though. There's no more Garoppolo to throw those lofty passes out to the sideline. And this guy here, Burrow's got the magic. So if he's able to scramble around and get away from that pass rush and make them work harder than they normally would have to do, the Bengals will be in prime position to pull an upset tonight. But I think as a Rams fan, I like to see the Rams win. But as a football fan, I want to see a good game. And, of course, I want to make sure that what I say has some closeness to what actually happens during the game. So I think the Rams will pull a close one out, but it's going to be much closer than what people think. And I think that if they come out slinging that ball, quick passes, and effective with it, and hit some timely Joe Mixon runs, the Rams just might be in a little bit of trouble tonight. So that's just my take. And, by the way, I tried to go live. I want to do this live, but for whatever reason, I can't get my systems all set up. What I like to do tonight during the game is have an open discussion simulcast as the game is taking place. So if I get that worked out, I will go live tonight and we'll have a conversation, play-by-play analysis, all that while that's taking place during the game. So hopefully that works out for me. If not, I'll do the best I can to get some information out for you. This is Sports for Real. Coach Hall.